The prophet Isaiah there starts by reporting a command from God to God's people. Comfort my people. It's what we're asked to do. I think we all long for comfort. It's difficult at certain times in our lives. It's difficult often for us. Sometimes we don't know what difficult looks like until we've gotten a little further down the road. Sometimes it is only in looking back in comparison that we understand where we find ourselves or what our needs are. And sometimes that which we were grumbling about just a few weeks, days, months, or whatever, later you go, oh, well, I'd love to be back in those times. Those become the good old days, if you will. But still, laying in front of us is a command. Comfort my people. And as I said, it's something that we all long to have. That we find ourselves on our journey struggling to take our next steps. Maybe that's an experience that you have right now for any number of reasons. Certainly in a space of uncertainty that we all experience with the pandemic. As I said, there's so many ways to look around and see it or experience it that way, that we are people in need of comfort. But it is worth understanding that the idea of the word comfort referring to providing some sense of ease is a really modern concept of that word. About 17th century did it pick up that kind of meaning of like giving someone something to ease their experience. Of course, if you're a Latin scholar at all, or if you're not, I'll give you the quick lesson today. Cum forte is to give strength. Literally, with strength, or to strengthen with, if you put it back the other way. And when we take that on, that has a very different feel. There's a part of us that wants Jesus to just pick us up, good shepherd style, have him put us on his shoulders and carry us through life's walk. Or maybe as Carrie Underwood said, Jesus, take the wheel. I can't do it. Let somebody else do it. Jesus, you do it. That isn't how it works. Just a quick aside, yesterday's gospel, I was celebrating Mass with the Visitation Sisters. It's that one where Jesus says, the harvest is full, it's plentiful, but the workers are few. And it struck me funny just yesterday. I don't know how many times I've heard that gospel. It's used a lot in vocation, promotion. But it struck me that what Jesus then said was, so ask the master for laborers. And I don't know, it just struck me like, why? It's his harvest. You figure it out, God. Get your own workers, your own laborers. Why are you asking me? It's a strange request, isn't it? Jesus says to us, you ask him for workers to do the harvest. But what strikes me as it connects to this command is that the harvest is for us. And so we have to be involved in the work of it. And one of the ways we're involved in the work of it is to provide comfort. And to provide comfort is to lend strength to others when they are in need. How do we lend strength? Because that's what God models. It's not that God just sent that out as a set of instructions and stood back. On the contrary, what we're waiting for is God's ultimate gift. The ultimate way in which God said, I will comfort my people. I will lend you the strength that you need. And not lend in the sense that maybe banks think about it. It's lend poured out with no expectation of return. The comfort that God offers us in the person of Jesus came with no pretest. It doesn't even presume that we're his friend. Indeed, we may be at times his enemy. At least our actions betray it. And so we find ourselves preparing to accept a gift, someone that's lending us the strength that we need in difficult times, and then realizing we're called to do the same. And that's not new. It's thousands and thousands of years old. But God inspires Isaiah to tell people this. I command it. I command it. And in God's slow time, as St. Peter says, right, don't put it on your watch. He sets in motion that I will ultimately give them the perfect way to show comfort, to lend strength. Because if Jesus did just pick us up and put us all on his shoulders, we would never learn to walk our journey. We would never be strengthened in our journey. Indeed, when we lend each other the strength, the fortitude, we do give people the strength to be stronger on their own journey and then in turn to comfort others. And so as I think of Geoff's family and the way in which I can comfort them when they're nowhere physically near me, I go back to the idea of stewardship, my time, my talent, and my treasure. How can I lend strength to people that are dear to me on the other side of the globe? I can pray with them. I can share words of love and encouragement with them. But set aside that example for a second, because those are people I like. Those are people I feel that are family. What about those who are not my friends? What about those who, through no fault of my own, see me as an enemy? Maybe I'm not trying to be their enemy, but they see me as one. Can I lend them strength? Can I comfort them? Whoa, now you're asking a lot. But this is what John the Baptist gets to at the end of this gospel. I'm baptizing you with water, but one is coming who will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. And one of the titles we give the Holy Spirit is the Great Comforter, who gives us the strength to be the presence of Christ in all situations. Not because it's easy, and not because it puts gold stars on our grade card for when we get to heaven and are judged, but because it is right and just to comfort those who mourn, to comfort those who are suffering and struggling. I've got to be honest, in my life, there have been people that, for whatever reason, we got into fights. I think more in my political life than in my religious life, but certainly still true in my religious life. People that have decided I'm their enemy. And when those people, even when I'm in a space of needing to be comforted, when they offer it, it just has a profoundly deep impact on me. To say, you don't even see me as friend, but on some deep level, you know the need that I have right now, and you're lending me strength. All of this which God shares throughout salvation history, all of what Jesus teaches us in his words, but more importantly in his actions, brings us to this time and space of our life. A global pandemic, divided country, divided families, racial inequality. Insert everything you want, and the command is the same. These are the battles and the fights that have gone on for millennia. It's just that right now, this one's uniquely ours. I don't know about you. There's a lot of me that just wants to say, Jesus, take the wheel. I need a timeout or something. But what's being laid at my feet is an opportunity. What's being laid at your feet is an opportunity. To say, I know I've been comforted. People have lent me their strength in many ways when I've been in need. And now, more than ever, we need to witness to that command. As I said, not just because it helps our, whatever you want to call that in terms of at the end, but because it is right and just. And even those who maybe don't count us as friend have to, in the silence of their heart, go, ooh, that's as real as it gets. And it doesn't matter where you live or what language you speak. True is true, and it is everlasting. And so as the love of God that has come through the ages to us today, and for us to maybe be filled with anxiety or a little bit of fear about what's next, The command is the same. I command you to comfort my people. To which God says, I've always done it for you. I'm with you. I sent my Son to you. I breathed the Holy Spirit upon you to comfort you. Please do the same for each other. In a few minutes, we get to take the presence of Christ within us. May it comfort us, not just ease our anxiety. That's a pill. That's a medicine. That's better living through chemistry. The presence that we will take within us isn't just to ease or calm us. It's to strengthen us, so that what we do from that moment is a shining of the light of Christ. It makes straight the crooked paths, not because we're perfect, but because that which we receive perfectly loves us. As I said, that is not easy. These are difficult times. But as I hear that command and I think about what God asks of me and what God asks me to share with others, that feels completely and wholly worth my time and effort, my time, my talent, and my treasure, to lend it to those I see in need, because others have always done it for me. And now the opportunity lays in front of us. May God be praised.